In this lesson, we will learn about compilation in ASP.NET. ASP.NET pages are compiled just by referencing the pages in the browser. That is, the very first time when you access a web page in the browser, the page is compiled. When an ASP.NET page is referenced in the browser for the first time, the request is passed to the ASP.NET parser that will generate a class file in the language of the page. So when the page is compiled, ASP.NET parser will generate a file containing a class for that page. That class is written in the language that is selected when you create the ASP.NET page. This file is passed to ASP.NET parser based on the file's extension. After the file has been created, the class file is compiled into a DLL, and the DLL is written to the disk of the web server. At this point, the DLL is instantiated and processed, and the output is generated for the request of the ASP.NET page. For the next request, instead of going through the enter process again for the second and respective request, the request simply causes an instantiation of the already created DLL, which sends output to the request. If the site is a larger site, it is a bit of pain, because end user did not want to experience the lag that occurs when .aspx page is referenced for the first time after compilation. So many developers created their own tools to automatically go out and hit every single page within their application to remove the first time lag hit from the end user's browsing experience. ASP.NET provides a few ways to precompile your entire application with a single command that you can issue through a developer command prompt. One type of compilation is referred to as in-place precompilation. In order to precompile your entire ASP.NET application, you must use the ASP.NET _ compiler.exe tool that comes with ASP.NET. This tool is available in the C drive, Windows, Microsoft.NET framework, and whatever version of .NET framework you have under that folder. When you are inside that .NET framework folder, you can work with ASP.NET compiler tool. You can also get to this tool directly by pulling up Visual Studio command prompt. From the start menu, under programs, select Microsoft Visual Studio command prompt if it is visible. After you get the command prompt, you can use ASP.NET _ compiler.exe tool to perform an in-place precompilation using the following command prompt. Here we are using ASP.NET _ compiler flag -p. Here we are specifying the C drive inetpub, which is a folder for IIS, and under that this is a root folder for all the websites, and here this is the name of our website. So the name of our website is what? Let us give some name, demo compilation, and after that one more flag, -v and none. So this will pre-compile the website and it will store the precompiled files in a temporary ASP.NET folder. We'll see the location of the temporary ASP.NET folder later. When you use this command, you get a message stating that the application precompilation is successful. The other great thing about this precompilation capability is that you can also use it to find errors on any of the ASP.NET pages in your application, because it hits each and every page. If one of the pages contains an error, that won't be triggered until runtime. You get notification of the errors immediately as you employ this precompilation method. The precompiled code will end up inside of the temporary ASP.NET file directory, just as it would when the runtime compiles for a browser request. Instead of the bin directory for the precompiled site, you will find the assemblies, that is DLL files. The compiler generates special file names to avoid naming collision. The temporary ASP.NET files directory is inside C drive, Windows, Microsoft.NET, Framework, and whatever version of the framework you have. In addition, you can precompile an application directly from Visual Studio using Publish menu item under Build menu. The Publish website dialog will let you select a HTTP, FTP, or local file system destination as a target. The next precompilation option is commonly referred to as precompilation for deployment. This is an outstanding capability of ASP.NET that enables you to compile your application down to some DLLs, which can then be deployed to customers, partners, or elsewhere for your own use. Not only are minimal steps required to do this, but also after application is compiled, you simply have to move around the DLL and some placeholder files for the site to work. This means that your website is completely removed and placed in the DLL when deployed. However, before you take these precompiled steps, create a folder in your root drive called, for example, we'll call this as demo. This folder is one to which you will direct the compiler output. When it is in place, you can return to the compiler tool and give the following command: ASP.NET_compiler -v, you have to specify the application name and the physical location using -p flag, and the target, that is the location of the folder where you want to copy the compile files. Therefore, if you have an application called ineta located at C drive website ineta, you can use the following commands: ASP.NET compiler -v /ineta -p C drive website ineta C drive wrox. Here, instead of ineta, we'll make use of demo compilation. So this is the name of the root directory in IIS, and this will be C drive inetpub /www root folder / this will be the demo compilation. Here we are giving the target directory as demo, because here we have specified demo as a target directory that will be creating. So this is the name of the application in IIS. This is a physical path of the folder where the source code files are present, and this is a target folder. Now after typing this command, press enter key, and the compiler either tells you that it has a problem with one of the command parameters or it was successful. If it was successful, you can see the output placed in the target directory. In the example just shown, -v is a command for virtual path of the application, which is provided by using /demo compilation. The next command is -p, which is pointing to physical path of the application. In this case, it is C drive inetpub root demo compilation. Finally, the last bit, C drive demo, is the location of the compiler output. After compiling the application, you can go to the C drive demo to see the output. Here you see all the files and file structures that were in the original application. However, if you look at the contents of one of the files, notice that the file is simply a placeholder. In the actual file, you find the following comment: this is a Markle file generated by pre-compilation tool and should not be deleted. In fact, you find a code.dll file in the bin folder where all the page code is located. Because it is in a DLL file, it provides great code obfuscation as well. From here on, all you do is move these files to another server using FTP or Windows Explorer, and you can run the entire web application from these files. When you have an update to the application, you simply provide a new set of compile files. Note that this compilation process does not compile every type of web file. In fact, it compiles only ASP.NET specific file types and leaves out of the compilation process the following types of files: HTML files, XML files, XSD files, web.config files, TXT files. You cannot do much to get around this, except in the case of HTML files and text files. For these file types, just change the file extension of these file types to .aspx. They are then compiled into the code.dll until all the other ASP.NET, like all the other ASP.NET files.